As many of you know, I predict that many car companies will go bankrupt by 2040. The bankruptcies will start between 2025 and continue along until 2040, by which point many governments will of course try to have bailed out all of their automotive companies, but realized at some point or other that they can't bail them all out. They just don't have the funds to do so. Now, why will this happen? Well, for a fair few different reasons. Many companies are not preparing for our EV future and are not aware they're about to be disrupted. One of those is Toyota. Yes, Toyota is showing its hubris lately and has decided that 85% of its cars to be sold in America in 2030 will be petrol powered. Well, clearly Toyota are not planning for an electric future. They've said as much themselves on a number of occasions. Now, a recent report about emissions targets for the European Union is further evidence of the fact that it will be increasingly difficult for companies like Toyota and others to sell their vehicles from 2030 and beyond. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Sam Evans and you're watching a channel all about EVs, batteries and the future, where we're all going and really how great the future is going to be. Now guys, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so to get notifications in your feed. If you already have, fantastic to see you back again. So it's my belief that tougher vehicle emissions laws in Europe will kill combustion engines by 2030. And in fact, a new report has confirmed that this is very likely to happen. Apparently, the EU will put forward restrictive emissions laws next month, which could make it impossible to sell petrol or diesel cars from 2030 onwards. If you don't believe this, well, your head's in the sand. The EU has been making it incredibly difficult to sell vehicles that are petrol and diesel powered in the European Union without being fined billions of dollars. It's one way Tesla has been able to build factories while not really making much of a profit, because they're getting paid a lot of money from companies like FCA, Volkswagen even, in order to reduce the likelihood of those companies having to pay fines. It's a bit more complicated than that, but you get my point. By the time 2030 comes around, it's going to be basically impossible to sell diesel and petrol vehicles in the EU. To be honest, I'm not even sure it's necessary, but I still see it as a good thing, a good way for manufacturers to have a wake-up call now to say, hang on, what are we doing? Why are we not planning for this future? Now, new regulations are expected to be introduced which would inhibit the sale of new passenger cars in Europe powered by petrol and diesel from 2030 onwards, and potentially even sooner. The European Union will announce the new proposal next month, yes, in July, which could see emissions reductions of up to 60% by the end of the decade based on 2021 data, according to Automotive News in Europe. A total ban on new cars with internal combustion engines will very shortly follow as the EU seeks to reduce passenger vehicle emissions to zero. While EU member states have previously sought a 40% reduction in overall emissions by 2030, not just limited to passenger cars, a new roadmap is expected to be announced on 14th of July 2021, which would propose increasing that figure to 55%. Now, guys, it's my firm belief that in between 2021 and 2030, that 55% figure will change to at least 90%. I think it's very likely, considering the progression of the EU regulations on carbon emissions, that they will speed up their predicted ban on petrol and diesel powered vehicles to make that happen even before 2030. Now, Germany's Automotive Association, the VDA, is opposed to the changes, which it says would practically force the European automotive industry to market only battery electric vehicles. Now, of course, they're opposed to it. There's only one company in Germany that is really going to be successful by 2030, and that is the Volkswagen Group. Mercedes and BMW, they're in a lot of trouble, put it that way. They're not planning to be full EV by 2030, and really, they're planning for failure. So, of course, the VDA is trying to protect its own industry. Now, the VDA says both consumers and the industry will suffer. I don't know about that. Restricting the technology to a single drivetrain option within such a short period of time is worrying and does not give any consideration whatsoever to the interests of consumers, while the laws could also impact up to 215,000 jobs. Well, if they pivoted right now, they could potentially prevent a lot of those job losses. But if they just want to fight, the writing's on the wall, isn't it? Now, if the tough restrictions are brought in, it's possible car makers in Europe would need to drop models with internal combustion engines by 2030, including mild hybrid, conventional hybrid, and plug-in hybrid vehicles. Guys, this is not just me saying this. It's no longer me standing here on a pulpit preaching this stuff, sounding like a crazy person, to some people at least. This is coming from mainstream news now. This is mainstream news. This is coming out of Europe, this information. The sources are good sources. It's not bogus. It's happening whether you like it or not. If you've just watched this video and you hate EVs, some of you do. Some people watch this channel who don't like EVs or who think that EVs are not the solution. Well, tough luck. They are. It's happening. Too bad. And you have to just suck it up and move on. Change is a good thing, and change in this area is for the better. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.